What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dahl Minigun as a part of my Does It Suck series. The Dahl Minigun is a non-unique Dahl assault rifle utilizing the Vladof spiny barrel. Vladof does manufacture two different barrels for assault rifles, but in this video we are going to be using the aforementioned rotary version. Now, this particular weapon doesn't have spectacular stats. It has a decent damage, decent accuracy, decent fire rate, decent stats all across the board, in fact. However, in practice, that 89 accuracy seems to be a little bit understated, because when using this weapon with zero and the burst fire mechanic, we'll notice that the spread is very, very tight. Now, utilizing Two Fang like I am at the moment with the boost from the legendary Killer Comm, we will have a variable burst size, ranging from 9 all the way up to, I have seen, 15. And this allows us to work through our 40 round magazine in occasionally 3 trigger pulls, but most commonly 4 trigger pulls. Either way though, we will be reloading fairly frequently, and I did decide to spec into one shot, one kill for synergy with ambush and deception. So we're going to see how we do here in the Washburn Refinery. This is a weapon that I did receive in a particular found gear playthrough that I was doing with one of my friends in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Now, that wasn't at overpower levels at that point in time, and we were just working through the main storyline as we leveled up to level 72, but when I found this weapon, it was tremendously helpful, and I used it for a few levels because it was, like I said, quite powerful for me at that particular time. So I definitely don't expect this weapon to suck, and we'll see how it does. In fact, it's worth noting, I think, that I feel like assault rifles are, for the most part, underrated in Borderlands 2. They're seen as entirely inferior options to SMGs most of the time, and I don't know if that's always the case. So we'll get back to that in a minute and concentrate on why I think this weapon is pretty solid for the time being. As you can see, so far the weapon has done great for us, hitting critical hits coming out of deception and dealing a decent amount of damage, as well as disabling loaders at the right times and stuff so that we can stay healthy. Definitely want to knock off this gun loader's, or this R loader, I guess you would call him, his arm here, so that we can be more protected from his attacks. Now, he hasn't been slagged for us yet, which is part of the reason he is taking so long to kill here, but now that we've got him slagged, we can take him out a lot quickly, or a lot more quickly, I guess I should say. Speaking of taking out enemies quickly, we need to get this guy slagged so that we can take him out. Excellent. So, slagging both this power loader and R loader behind him now, hopefully, we can begin to take them out as well. And you can see that this weapon is effective at both close encounters and medium to long range encounters as well, which is definitely nice. The reload speed is very manageable when we do have Killer active. Obviously, this build that I am using has 10 points in Killer at the moment, so obviously that mitigates reload speed almost entirely, while we, or reload time, I guess you should say, mitigates reload time almost entirely when I have recently gotten a kill, and that works out very well. Either way, though, we made it through that first room with relatively no trouble, except for that one guy that I couldn't get slagged. So we'll get down here to this badass loader and see how we do against him. Now, the Dahl Minigun isn't incredibly ammo efficient. It does consume a significant amount of ammo as we shoot through things here. You'll notice how quickly we work through a 40 round magazine at times and stuff, but at the same time, it only took just over one magazine, or I guess I should say it took under 2 magazines to take out a badass loader there, and it did it in a quick enough fashion that we didn't take any damage from him at all, and so that's kind of cool. We'll move forward now and see how we do against the rest of the enemies in here. Now, this weapon isn't E-Tech levels of ammo inefficient for assault rifles. It's definitely okay. It just doesn't happen to be Becca level efficient, so it's interesting. You know, we're going through here and we're doing okay so far. It's weird that assault rifles are so almost universally looked down upon in Borderlands 2 as entirely inferior options to SMGs. I definitely don't feel like that's the case. Obviously, there are some good SMGs in the game. The most spectacular probably being the Sandhawk and the Tatler, followed not far behind by the Good Touch and Bad Touch, as well as plasma casters from various companies. Now, that does give you a decent amount of good SMGs, but I feel like there are just as many good assault rifles in the game as well. Obviously, the Becca is top-notch. The Kitten and Hale are very good in their own right. And then we have other good assault rifles as well, including the Leadstorm, Shred-a-Fire, and more. And non-unique assault rifles are generally pretty damn powerful, and that doesn't even include the explosive assault rifles that certain explosive characters can get good use out of either. So there are quite a few good assault rifles in Borderlands 2, and I'm not really sure where the notion that all assault rifles suck really came from. Now, obviously, there are some really bad assault rifles. Obviously, the rapier shouldn't really be used for anything other than melee, because it flat out does suck as a gun. But as a weapon system as a whole, the rapier is extremely effective. So, I don't know. Obviously, you know, some assault rifles are bad. That's definitely the case. I would say that E-Tech assault rifles are extremely underwhelming. And, you know, overall, some assault rifles are probably disappointing. But I've had, you know, good luck with several non-unique assault rifles, and this is definitely one of those that I would definitely recommend. Like I said, I found this in an Ultimate Vault Hunter mode found gear playthrough, and it lasted me for several levels. I liked how accurate it was, even at long ranges. For a, you know, non-sniper rifle, its range is probably up there with the best of them, which is good. Don't want to catch that next eye blast while we're waiting on this badass enemy to spawn over here. Being that he's still way back there, we can really utilize our range and disable his arms, you know, from way back here before we've even used deception or anything like that. So now he's, you know, pretty close to dead. I'll go ahead and reload my weapon for the one-shot, one-kill bonus here coming out of deception, and then we'll finish this guy off. We took that badass loader out with no difficulties at all, really. He wasn't very aggressive AI-wise, though. So we're getting a little bit lower on ammo. This is a weapon that I would say you should keep a closer eye on your ammunition count with. You don't have to be, you know, incredibly worried about it, but definitely don't skip picking up enemy ammo drops or, you know, very easy to acquire barrels, or I mean, excuse me, chest, if you are going to be using this particular weapon, because you may find it invaluable to get that extra ammo. Cool. And the fact that we're able to kill some enemies in one burst fire is something that I would say is definitely a benefit of this weapon. There's another hot loader back there, and it deserves my priority at this particular point in time, and we were able to kill it there even without a one-shot, one-kill bonus, which is pretty damn solid. We're going to need to get that gun loader slagged eventually, or just try to bore it to death, but I would like it to be slagged. Either way, we're going to attempt to kill something here, so that's good. That gun loader is just staying alive right there. We'll try to kill it. There we go. Finally, Boar wins the day. Or not quite, actually. But as we chuck rounds down range, it is important to note that because this weapon does throw fairly accurate bullets, you know, in rapid succession, Boar with this weapon, you know, as to be expected, is pretty damn solid. Alright, so we're going to get this guy slagged and the guy behind him slagged, and then we'll go for the Boar if it's available. It wasn't available for long, so we kind of missed it there. Either way, just a little bit of patience and we're able to kill these enemies damn quick. I really do appreciate how accurate this weapon is. Obviously, it is a little bit extra accurate because we are using 0 with points in precision, but with any character, this weapon would be accurate enough to get critical hits at this range, which is definitely nice. And the reduced recoil from the Dahl gimmick definitely helps out. I would prioritize the hot loader first, but this guy was right there. So now we just have this hot loader left, and that's a good thing. Cool. Moving forward, we still have enough ammo to make it through this room, and we're acquiring a little bit more as we pass enemies that we've killed. Obviously, the game does weight ammunition if you're low on one specific type relative to any other type, so that's good. Go ahead and get kunai on him here. Recently had an argument on a forum about 0 not needing kunai if you're going to play as a quote-unquote true sniper. keep in mind that 80% of Zero's damage does come from kunai, and forgoing that or playing outside of the range of kunai, which are fairly damn rangy. I mean, we can get that guy kunai'd from way here in this hallway and kill him before he even turns around. I don't really know why people think you have to be within, like, twister range to use kunai. Kunai have a fairly lengthy range. Basically what I'm getting at here is that you should definitely always utilize kunai when available to you as Zero. So that's something I would recommend. And even though this weapon can be used at long range, I would recommend that you stay within a range at which kunai can be used effectively. Obviously, I don't want to be right next to this guy, but I want to be close enough to where I can land some death marks on him in order to increase damage upon him. Now, he wore off slag pretty damn quickly there. They do that at overpowered level 8, 4-player health scaling. And because of that, it can sometimes be very difficult to work through some of these enemies effectively. We'll see, though. So we got not the best roll of AI here. Where 3 enemies immediately charged me in the hallway there. That's not exactly ideal, but we'll figure out a way around it. This weapon is pretty solid, and I think it should enable us to kill at least one of these guys pretty damn quickly. Excellent. Now the other one's at about a 3rd health, so we'll concentrate on getting it killed, and then we'll work on Pervy. Cool. And the weapon's, medium to long range effectiveness has allowed me to work through some of these enemies without too much danger, which is good. Now, Pervy is basically one giant critical hit spot. I'm not sure why he wasn't slagged there for me. I felt like I just slagged him, but apparently not. Either way, I'm going to try to knock his arm off or kill him. Either one works, and it looks like we killed him. So, good stuff there, and we'll finish off the rest of the 4-player health scaled bots here in this room. Overall, I think it should be fairly obvious that I definitely don't think the Dahl Minigun sucks, and if you haven't given one a try, I would recommend it. It's a somewhat entertaining weapon system to use here in Borderlands 2 that, I find definitely underutilized, to say the least, but probably underrated as well. There aren't too many people who are huge fans of this weapon, but I happen to be one of them. Interestingly enough, this weapon has very similar stats to Roland's Scorpio. In fact, it just appears to be a superior version of Roland's Scorpio. And so that's kind of cool because, in fact, I think that weapon doesn't suck either. But overall, I would definitely say that the Dahl Minigun doesn't suck, and I like it quite a bit. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them for you guys. If you have suggestions for other weapons for this series, leave those below as well. But as always, guys, I do thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do. I'd appreciate that. The answer to the question, does it suck, relating to a Dahl Minigun, is a resounding no in my mind. One more time, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I do hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.